The ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone, Dacia Hao. Welcome to the world's first SwissTech Pitchinar. I'm Felix, the CEO of Swissnex China, the Science Consulate of Switzerland, and your host. Swissnex is present at 5 locations around the globe in Boston, San Francisco, China, India, Brazil, and we are part of the Swissnex network. We are here to show the best of Switzerland, build bridges, add value, connect the dots in education, research, and innovation. In this regard, it is a great pleasure for us to continue the tradition of Swiss tech startup pitching in the framework of the Consumer Electronics Show CES Asia, which unfortunately was postponed due to COVID-19. As a world premiere, we are launching today the SwissTech Pitchinar 2020, a pitching competition in webinar format. Without further ado, I would like to announce our 2 keynote speakers. The first speaker is Ambassador Nicolas Bidot, the ingenious head of Present Switzerland. SwissTech is his brainchild, and you will soon understand why. The second speaker is Gary Shapiro, the key person behind CES Asia and CES Las Vegas. The best Swiss tech startups frequent his top-notch consumer tech shows every year. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Hi everybody, my name is Nicholas. I'm a Swiss ambassador. You know Switzerland? Watches, chocolate of course, but then the tech. And under the label SwissTech, Switzerland puts the spotlight on the exceptional performance of the Swiss innovation ecosystem. Follow SwissTech to discover the best Swiss-made technology at global tech events such as the CES Asia in Shanghai. Switzerland is an attractive location for talents, investors, and foreign companies. We are proud to support the CES Asia, the leading tech event for startups, entrepreneurs, and global tech firms, and to showcase the best technology in innovation Switzerland has to offer. Get ready for SwissTech, get ready to be surprised, and of course, totally amazed. See you.
From advancements in healthcare to allowing remote work, technologies and innovation are making a difference in improving and enhancing our lives. And countries like Switzerland are leading the way. Switzerland was recognized by the Consumer Technology Association as an innovation champion, which is our highest honor. And this was in our International Innovation Scorecard. Switzerland got it for its forward-thinking policies around technology and innovation. Now, we all know that the world has changed dramatically in the last few months, but I am confident that Switzerland will be one of the leaders in creating innovation that supports the recovery. I'm so thankful to the Swiss government for its support of CES and CES Asia. In fact, 29 startups from Switzerland participated in the official Swiss pavilion at CES in Las Vegas in January. Now, things changed, and it was too difficult for us to produce CES Asia this year. But I invite all of you to join us at CES in Las Vegas in January 2021.
Thank you, Ambassador Bidot and Gary Shapiro, for the powerful kickoff and collaboration. Following our record performance at CES Asia 2019, winning 6 CS Innovation Awards, today's Pitchinar aims to spotlight groundbreaking SwissTech, providing a platform for game-changing partnerships with investors, mentors, experts, potential business partners, and highly engaged audiences. Now, it is our big pleasure to introduce Jordi Mosera of Mchale. He's the mastermind behind the iconic Venture Leaders Program, an international roadshow for world-class startups. He has a big heart for startups, so I couldn't imagine a better person to moderate the pitches. One last point before handing over to Jordi, I would like to mention that there's a Q&A function in Zoom. We will collect your questions and try to answer many of them during the Pitchinar. And now, Jordi, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Felix. It is such a pleasure to be joining you here from Switzerland and for this wonderful event, the opportunity to bridge China and Switzerland as we've done it for many years, to bring the best of the deep tech of the Swiss tech. And my role tonight will be to animate this Pitchinar, this session here online, connecting, as we cannot be there, connecting you and presenting the best of Swiss startup. It will be a pitch session. We'll have 4 iterations of startup pitching. Each of these iterations will choose a finalist, which will present at the end. I think you have all seen this amazing program that is coming up forward. And to decide who goes to the final, I have the great pleasure to introduce the members of our jury today. And I would like them to now come on the video. I would like to call Chengfei Yuan, James Yu, and Bing Sheng on video, as I will ask you to give a brief introduction about yourself. You will be our jury members tonight. You will have the difficult, challenging role to choose in each of the sessions that we will present who will jump into the final. So may I start with James Xu. You are the CEO and Managing Director of the Microsoft Startup Greater China region, Japan and Korea. So maybe James Xu, can I ask you to come on screen? We will put the spotlight on you and we look forward to have a short introduction on your end. James, are you here? I will need to unmute, so maybe we can unmute first.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, James, now I can hear you and I can see you, so it would be great if, so go ahead for your short introduction.
Hi everyone, so my name is James. I'm the CEO of Managing Director for Microsoft for Startups. So Microsoft's mission is actually empower everyone in the planet, every organization in the planet to achieve more. So our mission is empower, all the startups in the planet to achieve more. So we basically, it's a global organization. So we also have European counterpart to helping European startups. But from China, the regional places, I'm in charge. So whenever you want to enter China or for startups that want to go broader, we're there to help.
Thank you very much, James. So great pleasure having you. Our next jury member, somebody who's been very much connected, supporting Swiss startup, good knowledge today of the Swiss ecosystem, Bin Sheng, Managing Director of the ADIC Fund Management. Bin, it's a pleasure to have you, and I look forward to a short introduction.
Thanks very much, Jordi. It's an honor to be invited by by you and by Swissnex. I'm a managing director of SDIC Fund, which is one of the largest state fund. We are focusing on investing life science, IoT, advanced manufacturing, and also electric vehicles. So in the past 3-4 years, I went to Switzerland quite often, try to find the very nice innovation and the very good technology, and I want to integrate this innovation technology to Chinese manufacturing industry. So today I'm looking forward to see those startups. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Ben, for joining us. And yes, you have seen many startups. I hope tonight we'll bring more exciting projects to you. And finally, joining us from PwC China, we have Chengfei Yuan, which is the Director of Stack Services. Chengfei.
Hi everyone. So Chengfei speaking. So I'm coming from PwC. So I just want to tell two truths that they always consider PwC working only for the big companies. It's not true. So now, 1 year, so we also help a lot of startups. So I'm now here in the PwC Shanghai Innovation Center. We hosted last year another the events for the SwissTech, but also we now have a special team working our startup in Swiss and the British and the Chinese. We try to make a platform help them. So myself, I'm tax advisor. Now I'm working a lot with the startup to grow with them and win together. So this is our approach, and very happy to be here, looking forward to those wonderful companies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chengfei. So I think the jury members, you can now turn your video off, as it will be the turn of the start-off, but make sure that you stay connected and stay attentive. I mean, your role really starts now. As we are entering into the first group, this first session of pitching, 5 exciting startups, which we have the pleasure here to discover first on the slide. And I will ask, of course, the 5 members and the 5 representatives of this startup to not turn their video on. So it would be great if we could welcome Adrian from Ariadne.ai, Mchale from Robotics, Simon from CodeLane, David from Collect ID, Serban from Eyewear as the first pitching startups tonight. You know the rule. The rule is 90 seconds. I won't repeat this for our audience. I'd like to repeat as well what Felix told you. Just look at the Q&A below. And if you have questions also for the startups, don't hesitate to put it directly in the Q&A. The startups will answer afterwards, after their pitch, and they can continue the interaction, and you can continue the connection. I think we have our 5 startups now being online. And with this, please turn on your videos. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4. There are so many. I think that we have now everyone. The first one being here is Adrian. Adrian, I hope you are ready. 90 seconds as we discussed. And it is, if you see me showing you the time's up, please make sure you stop at that time. Else, I wish you a great pitch. And our first presentation, floor and stream will be yours, Adrian Vanner, co-founder of Ariadne.ai.
Hello, everybody. I'm Adrian Vanner, CEO and founder of Ariadne.ai, a Swiss company specialized in biomedical image analysis using machine learning. Next. Brain diseases are a tremendous burden to the patients and the society, and for none of the more than 1,000 known brain diseases, any cure exists. The reason for the devastating lack of cures for brain diseases is the lack of good biomarkers. To give you an example of a biomarker, elevated body temperature is a very good biomarker for fever. However, nothing comparable exists for brain diseases. Next. We have developed LM-Trace, an imaging-based AI-powered biomarker that uses neuron shape analysis. In contrast to conventional analysis methods that focus on cell body signals and perform cell counting, LM-Trace analyzes the shape of neurons. By that, it extracts novel and much more information from images. It can be applied to existing data and any imaging modality. It's fully automated, and by that, it increases the throughput of a single neuropathologist by more than a factor 1,000. Next. Our technology is already used by major medical institutes all over the world. Currently, we are preparing a seed investment round in order to bring this technology to Asian hospitals, biotech companies, and pharmaceutical companies, and of course, to Asian patients. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adrian. That was very good. So I look forward, and I can already put thumbs up for this pitch. The jury is voting on the back, and we will welcome our second presentation. And this will enter us into the battery technologies, energy, very important field. The Mchale, we look forward to hear about Batronics.
Thank you very much. Next. Thank you very much. My name is Mchale from Robotics, and what we are solving is this mess, the mess of research literature in battery field. Next. So the problem is actually of research and development today on batteries that it's very time and money consuming. The problem is that the literature that comes out, the papers and the patents is enormous today. However, for big companies like CATL, BYD, LG Chem, it's very important to keep track of this innovation, to know what the competition is doing and to not have the Kodak moment in their industry. So what we are doing at Biotech, we are solving exactly this. We're doing an automatic analysis of all the content that comes out. We create a database out of it, and the final stage, we do a research superposition. So in total, we save 50 times the time for our customers for the reading and the searching. We save them 7 times the cost. And additionally, we can give a competitive advantage to show them white spots for new patenting and new research innovation. Next. So how do we do this actually? You can imagine it as it's like puzzling. So we take a puzzle piece of a patent, for example, here on the left, and we combine this with another research piece of an image here on the right, and we combine these two individual research contents to superpose it to the right for a superposed new research finding. And now at Biotech, we are building the first world's database on all battery research data. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presentation. Perfect timing as well. And this is how we advance the research on the batteries. We are entering now into another, the avatar rendered, avatars which actually, as we see, are becoming more important into the virtual world. And for this, we have Codelane. Codelane, Simon, the floor is yours.
All right, thanks a lot. The way we interact with digital machines is still stuck in the 90s. Sure, technology improved, but in the end, we're still typing on keyboards or tapping on screens, right? We believe that intelligent voice assistants are going to change that. And our goal is to bring the human factor back to these assistants. Codelane is building automatic, human-like 3D avatars that can be used as front-end for any virtual assistant. Our avatars allow for a deeper connection than just talking to a box, because in the end, we need facial expressions and gestures to really feel emotions. Our AI works on speech only, runs completely in the cloud, and can be embedded literally anywhere, from web pages all the way to AR and VR glasses. On the next slide, you see Alex. Alex is one of our digital humans. Alex works as a virtual fitness coach for a health insurance company. Alex analyzes your exercises, gives you feedback, and shows you in 3D how you have to correct your movement. This pilot is only possible because our solution is cheaper than traditional 3D content creation, and much more importantly, our technology can adapt to the reactions of the user in real time. Codelane was founded by 3 serial entrepreneurs. We're completely self-funded, and our customers are paying 6-digit dollar figures for our technology. We're raising a seed round right now to move faster, so please get back to me to know more.
That was, so the time was just up. Thank you very much. That was perfect timing. And yes, avatars, soon we as moderators won't even be needed, but that's a perfect also iteration. Thank you very much. And then as next iteration, we continue. We have to go into blockchain transparency, and this will be the role of David. David with Collect ID. David, the stream and the video is yours.
Thanks. I'm David, founder and CEO of Collect ID, and we bring transparency through technology. Next. Almost $2 trillion worth of goods are being faked every year. Next. And consumers face the risk of buying those products instead of authentic ones. Next. We solve this problem. So every product gets equipped with an NFC tag that contains a unique identity. This unique identity is encrypted and changes with each interaction, what makes it impossible to duplicate or to manipulate the tag. Additionally, this unique identity is then stored on the blockchain in form of a token and assigned to its respective owner. And since this decentralized way of saving information is very secure, it can only be changed by the respective owner. Users simply scan an item, they immediately receive the information if it's authentic or not. They can save it in their personal portfolio, and they can share it or transfer it to someone else with authenticity guarantee. But there is even more. Brands can place their message directly on the product and thereby combine the physical and digital worlds. Or in other words, they turn their products into a communication and sales channel. Next. We did some serious traction in the sneaker industry where we started and built up an active community and worked together with first brands. Next. We now transfer this technology to sports merchandising, where we did first POC with a professional football club, and we are now scaling up this project for further clubs. This is why we raised the next funding round, and this is why we are here. Thank you very much.
Now that we have everything properly traced, we shall continue into this session of new solutions and technologies for our virtual interactions. And for this, we have eyewear, who has the remote eye tracking software. And this will be presented by Serban. Serban, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Jordi, for the intro. Hi, everyone. My name is Serban. I'm a co-founder of eyewear, and I'm honored to be here and close the first pitch session with a story about digital interactions. Next. We are social beings. We listen to each other, we wave to each other, we look into each other's eyes to build the trust and develop relationships. We want this technology in our ability. We want this technology in our computers and devices. But clearly, there's one component missing, having this information from our eyes captured. Next, eyewear developed a proprietary eye tracking technology that is adapted to the needs of everyday consumer use. So we can bring this ability to observe and analyze attention, engagement, interest to laptops, phones, cards, and many more devices we interact with every day. Next. This technical advantage opens the door to new applications for eye tracking that represents over 1 billion market growth in the next 5 years. Next. And with our partners, we're developing human-computer interaction solutions that will change the way you interact with your computer, for example, in gaming, ergonomics, or accessibility. Next. In 2019, we raised a 2 million seed round, and since then we grew the team to 20 amazing people with both technical and business expertise. Next. And our vision is to make digital interactions more human-centered. Next. We're now raising 5 million Series A, and we invite you to join us. So please reach out if you would like to learn more. My name is Serban, co-founder of eyewear, and I thank you for your attention.
This was great. Thank you very much. I think we're now fully equipped, at least in the avatar, in the eye, in the tracing. I think that for this, everything is set. And I would like now, of course, to call our panelists. We'll have a short 5 minutes question and answer. Our panelists will address any of the startups they want to. And further, I would like, and we welcome again, Bin, Chengfei, and James. And James, may I give you first the first question to the startup of your choice? Go ahead with the first question. James, you will have to unmute. I am sorry to ask this. So I think it is good if the panelists, go ahead, James. I give you the first question.
Okay, so my first question goes to the first startup. I went to the Andrew. So for you, your image analysis system is already available in some other countries. So my question for you is, when you enter China, is that same technology can apply, or do you need to collect the data to do another type of machine learning to fit those images to serving for the Chinese peoples?
Thanks a lot for your question. It depends, of course, a lot on the actual image type. So depending on the hospitals, they collect different biopsies, they have different microscopes. So usually the way we work is, yes, we collect from the hospitals first images that then are fed into our AI in order to train our deep convolutional networks. And then we develop from that an image analysis method.
I see. So do you really, in terms of, in China, you need to get like a CFDA certified in order to sell to the market? Well, what's your business model actually?
So there are two answers to that. There's on one hand, of course, the diagnostic market where you need approval and certification. And then there's a huge research market for high throughput screening of drugs and to find potential candidates for drug discovery. For the drug discovery, there you don't need any certification. There it's in the researcher's hand in order to assure that accuracy and the information we deliver is really up to the standards.
Thank you very much, Adrian.
The end is people pay by image.
Thank you, Adrian. Yes, I'm jumping in. Thank you, Jen, for the questions. Bin, do you have any question, and for which startup?
Yeah, I have a question about the blockchain, the collect ID. So actually, my question are two. One is what the cost, for the special tag, for each consumable goods. The second is what's your strategy, how to develop, the market. Thank you.
So David, I think the question was for you.
Thank you for the question. Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you for the question. First question, the cost is, I would say in larger amounts of products, it's less than $1. And basically we pass the hardware through. So the hardware is not the point where we earn the money because it's quite standard already. So it's really about the whole integration with the software technology. And the second question is how we want to address the markets. Basically, it's a B2B2C. So that means first we work together with brands, we work together with sports clubs to then reach out to the consumers through their products. So right now, our strategy is to multiply the existing cases we have in sports industry and to thereby win new sports clubs to equip their products, their merchandising products with our technology.
Thank you very much. Let me give one question as we have about 2 minutes left. And if there is any other questions, we'll then see if we can take another one. But Shengfei, go ahead.
So I have a question for the last startup, the eyewear, Sebon. So I want to ask you, you mentioned about the client like automotive OEM. So how you consider tag market in China in automotive?
Hi, Shengfei. Thank you for the question. We have not yet interacted with automotive OEMs in China. We did mostly in Europe, but it's definitely a very attractive and high growth market. And we've seen in this particular application, for example, for driver monitoring systems to know, if the driver is looking at the road, we've seen adoption spreading quite rapidly, also due to regulation that is enforcing these systems to be required for 5-star safety ratings, for example. So this is definitely an interesting point that we haven't expanded to China in that direction, but open to check it more. Yeah.
Great, thank you very much. As the time is passing by and we had each question, so some startup didn't have, but yet we are slowly getting to the end of the 5 minutes. I think it is about time for the judges now, unless there is a very urgent question. I'm quickly checking. I don't think that there is a very urgent question. And I think it is for you now, your role will be to choose who will be the finalist of this session. And in the meanwhile, I will ask everyone during the jury voting to turn off your videos, as we will have a short promotional video. And then after that, I will be announcing the final winner of this first session. So I'm the pleasure to have, please, Adrian, Mchale, Simon, David, and Serban rapidly back online. And the jury have had a hard time, I think, choosing. I can see from the results always very close. I think for the audience, they will make their own chance. But it is my role, without further ado, to give it a little bit of suspense, of course, a little bit of timeline. I roll the drums. And for this first final, get ready, Serban, to pitch at the end again. You are the winner of this first iteration, the first finalist to be announced for tonight. So congratulations to Serban from eyewear, and congratulations to the 5 of you for this first series of iteration. I ran the clap. I think all the audience is running the clap for this first series. I repeat, use the Q&A to be in touch with the different startups and to continue the iteration. As of now, we shall run into the second group, and Serban, we will see you again in the final. So get ready, the secret question will come at the end, but get ready for your next pitch iteration. Congrats to all of you. Our group number 2 is now ready, and you see here the next series will bring us in cybersecurity, virtual reality, vehicle tech, software, and IoT. And for this, I will ask the 5 entrepreneurs to bring their videos online. Let me call for this next group. We have the pleasure to welcome Lambert from Global ID. We have the pleasure to welcome Jeffrey from HoloOne, Bastien from Important, Farman from Kudo, and Franco from Mitras. This is our next series now, and I think we have everyone here that is connected. I see the 5 entrepreneurs. I hope you are ready for your 90 seconds. You know the rules of the game. And for this, Lambert, you are our first pitch tonight. So for the group number 2, ready? The floor is yours. We're going in authentication solutions. We're listening.
Hello everyone, my name is Lambert, the CEO and founder of Global ID. Our role is the development of a vascular 3D finger vein recognition technology enabling a more reliable biometric identification. Next. Global ID received a patent application with his technology. Next. The company will follow a B2B business model by directly selling it to hospital. The cost of each device will be 300 Swiss francs, and the cost of each biometric authentication will be 10 cents per transaction. Next. The closest competitor is Fujitsu's Palm Secure Vein Scanner, working with a 2D scanning system. Next. The global market is expected to reach 146 billion by 2025. Global ID will target a vein market estimated at 70 billion by 2025. Next. The Global ID has an experienced team and technology level. A fundraising is planned, which is allow us to continue to miniaturize our scanner by embedding all the software in a chip, and the team will a pupil of strategic and commercial management. Thank you. Next. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lambert. I had to bring you. The time was passing. Great presentation. Thank you very much for this Global ID presentation. And we're jumping now into our next introduction. It will be HoloOne with mixed reality. Jeffrey, General Manager for China of HoloOne. And it's a pleasure listening to your presentation.
Yes, hello everyone. Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeffrey from HoloOne. We are the future global leader in the spatial computing enterprise software. Next, please. And we offers fair, standardized, and highly scalable mixed reality software covering all major enterprise use cases. Next, please. And also, we are the world first standards MR platform solution for the B2B sector. We offer device independent, platform independent, standard integration standardized modules. Users can create counters and import data from ERP, CRM, or other information systems. And all the enterprise use cases covered with one unified software product, which is fair. It included 3 standardized modules, which is remote assistant modules, expert, and digital collaboration modules, workspace, and the workflow support modules, task. Next, please. And also, we are an award-winning MR software with global recognition. And please vote for us. We are HoloOne, and thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that was a sharp and brief, clear presentation. I actually had the pleasure to know HoloOne from the venture leaders last year, as mentioned by Felix as well. Every year we come, and you've seen in the prior video that if everything goes well, we'll be there in September with a new team, hopefully, or maybe later this year. This brings us to the next presentation. So thank you very much, Jeffrey. And we are entering into VehicleTech, so that we call it. And for this, we have the pleasure to welcome Bastien, the CEO of Important.
Hello, everyone. At Important, we solve a humongous problem in a humongous industry, a humongous problem of 250,000 pedestrians who lose their life every year around the world. And a humongous industry, the car industry, which represents 12% of the German GDP. Next. So the idea of the technology came when a woman got killed by an autonomous car in Phoenix, Arizona, USA, 2 years ago. Next. So our product is a mobile app you download to your phone, and it sends your phone coordinates, GPS coordinates, to the cars. So the cars know where you are based on your phone, and will brake automatically before to hit you. So our goal, our mission of company is to save 1 million lives over the next decade. Next. The technology has been developed and is ready to commercialize. We charge the car companies the price of a seatbelt, and we give the technology for free to users. At 77 million cars a year on the road, that's revenues in the billions for us every year. Next. Our team, myself, Bastien Beauchamp, I'm the CEO of the company. I had 10 companies before. 3 of them were successful. Our head of artificial intelligence, Yuri, is based out of Berkeley. He's teaching at UC Berkeley, artificial intelligence. Our attorney is Glenn Manishin. He was the first attorney of Google. Next. We thank you very much, and we hope to continue the conversation with you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Bastien. And yes, definitely something to protect all of us. So that's the presentation of Important. We are continuing to the next presentation. So something that typically touches us today with video conferencing, live events, the multilingual dimensions. As you know, we have interpreter here, but we learn about more solutions from Kudo. Param, you have the floor next.
Grateful to be here. My name is Parham, and I'm a co-founder and CTO of Kudo. Kudo is a 3-year-old startup based in San Francisco, New York, and Geneva. Next. We help multinational corporation, organization, and government entities to communicate easily with their users and by completely removing language barriers. Next. Our solution is simple. A video conferencing platform with simultaneous language interpretation capabilities and a language service of more than 6,000 certified interpreters covering more than 60 languages across 50 countries. Next. Our business model is composed of subscription service for video conferencing platform and a marketplace that gives customer access to best-in-class interpreters for a booking fee. We have experienced an exponential growth in revenue since 2018, and we're on track to end this year with 7 million in revenue. Next. Some of the largest corporations in the world and governments, they're having their meetings with Kudo. Next, please. We are currently closing our seed round by July 1st, 2020. 2 investors have already come in on convertible notes. Next. Our team has built 2 successful companies focused exclusively on multilingual events and meetings. We have leveraged that experience and moved them into cloud and mobile. Next. Merci. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Parham, and as so impressive solution that we can use for all of our translations, something important in today's video conferencing. And we shall continue our presentation right now. Our next candidate and final in this session will be Franco with Mitras. I think so. We need to get to the introduction of Franco. Yes, there was a small still slide from Kudo. And then finally, we welcome here. Thank you very much. So we are here coming back into energy, if I may say, but how we're turning humans into energy producers. Franco, let us know how this runs. We're listening.
Hi everyone, my name is Franco Membrini and I'm the founder and CEO of Mitras Technology. Let me explain you what we are doing. At Mitras, we are developing thermoelectric generator systems. That means we are building devices which are able to harvest human body heat and turn it into usable electricity. And this energy can then be used to supply wearable and mobile devices. And our aim, our vision is to make these devices fully energy autonomous where possible. This means no more battery changing, no more recharging whatsoever, and extend the battery life significantly for other devices. Our aim is not to become another manufacturer or producer of wearable devices. We want to become a supplier of technology and sell our solution to existing players in the market and help them to increase the battery life of their own products or make them even autonomous. Next slide, please. Now, what kind of magic are we talking about that could make a device work fully on its own? Thermoelectric generators are nothing really new. We already know them from various applications in the industrial sector. What we did is that we took this existing technology and we optimized it for the application on the human body. And all these optimizations that we did together with the characteristics of thermoelectric generators, they lead us to these unique value propositions that this form of energy generation is available everywhere, that it's fully clean and inexhaustible, that it's maintenance free, and that it's modular. This means we can integrate this technology into basically every device. And this was my small introduction. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. That was a great pleasure to listen on how we're turning basically into batteries, and I feel even bigger now. So thank you very much for this presentation. I have to ask the jury to do their duty again. So we have a pleasure to welcome Shengfei, James, and Bing again. I think I will reverse the question now to not have every time poor James having to take the first question. So this time I will ask Shengfei to please ask the first question for this series of 5 startups. Do you hear us, Shengfei? I think you are back here. So the floor is yours for the first question, 5 minutes, questions of the jury.
Thank you. So my question to the first startup, the Global ID. So I just want to ask Lambert, you mentioned that maybe your potential target partner may be the healthcare government. So how you tracked to win the market in the government? So what's your business model in the sales? For example, the client like the government client or the partner is my question.
Yes, our business model refer to government. We do it through some integrator. So we have some integrator with some partnership. We already work with government. This integrator integrate our technology, our identification and authentication technology in their existing software system and send it to government.
But how you sell those products to the government?
So to government, we have 2 possibilities. First of all, we have the hardware. As I said, the hardware is 300 Swiss francs per hardware. And we have a biometric database. It depends on the use case. We can be around 1 million if we have many million persons that we will load it in the database. And we have 10 cents per authentication in the database. This is recurrent fees that we have with this solution.
Thank you, Lambert.
Thank you.
Unmute, here we go. I needed to unmute, sorry. And then thank you very much, Hengfei, for this first question. So I shall take, can I come back? And Bin, are you ready for the second question? And to which startup?
Yes, thank you very much. My question to Kudo, actually, I hope next time we can use your technology to do the webinar. It sounds really impressive to me. So my question is, how do you recruit the interpreters, and what's supposed to be the cost, for the each conference meeting? And can you just simply describe your business model, how to promote this, language as service model?
Hi. Well, you asked 3 questions. How do we, to quickly answer, how do we recruit interpreters? Our interpreters, they have to be a professional interpreters by career and by education. So it's not, we're not hiring translators, but we are doing interpreters. So we have a series of ISO standards and training, and then acceptance model, and then they come and join us into our marketplace. So that's one. Second, as for the cost of meetings, we have 2 types of meetings. One is meeting, and the other one we call them event. For example, what we have right now is an event where one person talks and many people listen to. So the cost is a little bit different, but roughly the cost is cost of platform, which is our software, and the cost of interpreters per hour. So that's how we charge. It can vary from $400 US to $2,000 per hour. 3, what is our model, which I explained? Our model is use of platform, hourly, and interpreters booking fee.
Great, thank you very much. And I think the next question will be to James.
Hi, my question goes to the second Holo one. So there's a lot of large companies doing AR, VRs. The market still haven't really taken off. How do you compete with them? For example, Microsoft have HoloLens and many other large companies doing that. What's your product differentiation? What's your go-to-market strategy?
Yes, thank you for your questions. Actually, we are standardized software platform, and we provide to our customer differentiate solution, because we can provide to our customer device independent. We can use different device for example, different MR glasses, not only Magic or HoloLens or others. And also we are platform independent. We can get access to different IO systems and different softwares. And also we provide a standardized integration into the company's software ecosystem, which means that we can get access the standard access to the not only the ERP and CRM system. Also, we can get access directly to the most popular 3D designed software, something like that, and then we can provide to our customer kind of easy adoption into MR into the MR world. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. The 5 minutes are just flying by as usual, and we wish we had more time. The Q&A continues. I hope that the jury was also as impressed as I was by the 5 startups which you've seen, and not only the solutions, but the tractions they already have. And it is now your difficult role, as usual, to choose who will be the finalist of this session. In the meanwhile, as you are doing your judging, we will have the next presentation video from one of our partners. I think it's now the time for the judge to vote, for the startups to pray. But in any case, already many congrats for the 5 presenting startups. Impressive job. And I think we have the launch now of our next presentation video. And this was the brief introduction of HealthTech, one of our institutes of technology in Switzerland. I can call now the 5 startups back, as well as the jury. I think you are all expecting. And the answer, again, congratulations to all the brilliant jobs. I'm rolling the drums. And for this second session, the jury has decided that we all wanted to be energy producers. So Mitras, it's a great pleasure to congratulate you. I think, Franco, you can convince us that if we can turn into batteries, we're good. This doesn't mean that we don't want all of the rest of the solutions, of course. Congrats, guys. It was a great pleasure to hearing you. And we will see Franco again in the final. I can now ask the next group to come up. I can ask you to turn your videos off. And of course, for the jury to be ready for the next session. We are welcoming group number 3, and the group number 3 will consist of RiskClick, Scientific Visuals, 7sense, SciDB, and stor-h technology. So in this sense, I'd like, and we have the pleasure now, sorry for that. We have the pleasure now to welcome the 5 next presenter. Please turn on your videos. I see you are all coming in. So Poria, Frederic, Gianluca, Nicola, and Mchale. I think all of you are here now. Yes, I see the 5 videos active. So ready for these next iterations. You saw the quality of the prior pitches. We are all expecting the same type of message, and how all of these solutions will be also something for China. The first presentations, Poria, if you are ready, RiskClick, in order to enable analysis and mechanization of clinical trials. Quite hot topic right now. Poria, the video stream is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. These days, there is a lot of medication and vaccine are tested on human in order to find a good treatment or vaccine for COVID-19 and end this pandemic. But my question is, do you participate in one of these COVID-19 clinical trials without knowing the risk of the trial? Next, please. Most of the people would say no, but the problem is that the methodology that we have at the moment for this purpose are really time consuming and they have a low precision. Therefore, the outcome are not really precise enough. At the risk click, by applying the artificial intelligence on the historical data of the clinical trial, we are developing a unique web-based tool which enable the clinical trial designer to analyze the risk of the clinical trial very fast and with a high precision. Next, please. In response to the current pandemic, we developed the first use case for COVID-19 clinical trial. And if we go to the next step, would be happy to show you how it works. Next slide, please. And then we serve our customer from small to mid-size and big pharmaceutical medical device company, as well as the principal investigator at a hospital, and charge them per trial use or by the annual subscription, depends on the number of the trial that they have. Next, please. Our multidisciplinary team is composed of the clinical trial risk analyst and data scientist. We already secured 1 million in the seed stage and looking for 1.5 million for the Series A. Thank you very much for your attention. Join us because patient cannot wait.
Thank you very much, Poria. So the time was up, but definitely this is a message for the patients. And we'll see how the jury welcomes this one, but already a great pitch. And the next presentation, we will then have the pleasure to welcome, continuing the science and scientific visual. We have Frederick, the CEO, that brings us the solutions for the quality control of instruments in the semiconductor industry. Frederick, the video and the floor. Yes, now we see you. Wonderful. I can give you the next 90 seconds.
Thank you. Today, China is the biggest producer of raw semiconductor substrate. However, growing substrate involves always...
Frederick, I'm really sorry, I have to jump in. We don't hear you very well. I think I'm probably not the only one, so I'd rather interrupt. Can you maybe get a bit closer to the mic, shall we? Because we did all tests, everything was running good.
Yes.
Can you do a small sound test?
Is it better like that?
Yes, it is better. If you close, and I will give you, of course, your 90 seconds again, but I want to make sure we hear you well. So maybe we go back into the first slide again, and I think that's where we are. Frederick, make sure to be close to the mic so we hear you well, and I am giving you, ready for it, the next 90 seconds.
Today, actually, manual defects detection is costly and not reliable. Therefore, defective substrates are processed uselessly. You will see in the next slide, in the below red triangle, that the current defect identification occurs at post-fabrication stage. Therefore, when the substrate is already fully processed, in the green triangle, you will see that our patented solution reveals material defect before processing. Next slide. The systems are already being used by tier 1 European players for inspecting substrate for micro LED, for inspecting as well 8 million watch covers per year. Next slide. Our value proposition is simple. Inducing $500 million saving for the industry by increasing growing and processing yield. This is why Equal Ocean, an investment research firm based in Beijing, has awarded the company as part of the top 50 world startups for semiconductors. We are opening now a 4 million financing round to expand in Asia and to expand our development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Frederick. So it was good that we had a good mic, because that's quite a value proposition to make sure that the semiconductor can benefit, and also applicable to China, definitely. And so coming to our next presentations, we are coming into the robotics world, and have the pleasure to come with Gianluca, discover the solution about 7 Sense Robotics. Gianluca, I think we'll have you now spotlighted for this presentation, and you are the next presenter. Looking forward to listen.
At 7 Sense, we transform the world of mobile robotics by providing an autonomy kit that allows machine manufacturers to build their own robotic product with no need of robotics expertise. We do this because we see a multi-billion untapped opportunity in robotics. In fact, in the healthcare, material handling, delivery, and professional cleaning industries, there is a strong potential to automate tasks and dramatically increase efficiency. Have you ever wondered why these industries haven't been completely revolutionized by robotics yet? Next. That is because the current robotics tech struggles in all those environments which change continuously and are shared with people, like supermarkets, hospitals, train stations, and airports. 7 Sense technology instead relies on advanced AI and computer vision algorithms to tackle this challenge. Our technology is packed into a unique autonomy kit, which we sell to machine manufacturers who integrate it on their platforms and create autonomous vehicles. With them, we bring to the market mobile robots able to smoothly navigate very challenging environments and finally enable new robotic applications. With our talented team, we are already generating revenue from exciting projects. We plan to raise funding early next year to finalize our development and expand globally. So reach out to me if you want to change the world of robotics with us. Thank you. 谢谢.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for this presentation. And we have heard about robotics, semiconductor industry. All of this also creates a lot of data, and I think that will be my introduction for the next case. We have the pleasure to welcome the next solution, CODB. All the data needs obviously a safe place to be. So we look forward to hear how Nicola will bring us a solution for storing our data safely. Nicola?
Yes, thank you. So our technology is a database system, and the database market is of 46 billion, because all software applications in the world need a database system to store data. But every day, developers struggle in choosing a database system because they need to be compliant with security, performance. They must take care of the costs, they have tight deadlines, and they must take care of privacy regulations. Next, please. But your unique advantage is that we have the cheapest, the easiest to use, and the fastest to start with all those features on the right included by default by design, making the life of developer and organization easier than ever. Next. We have 2 subscriptions, one on premises and one in the cloud. We expect a yearly sales per customer of 73,000 RMB, and in 3 years, we expect to reach 50 million of revenue. Next. That is the team, myself with more than 12 years of experience in database system, and the development team with 26 years of experience in development. We already released the version 6 alpha, we opened the code, and we are growing the open source community. We also just signed a partnership with a Swiss cloud provider. Next, please. We are at the early stage. We are searching about 3 million RMB, and we plan to exit in 5 years, and you should 5 times, and you will 5 times your investment at exit time if you invest today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. And that was a solution now for our data And I think we continue with the next presentation, which will be our final presentation for this second group that we are now, so third group already that we're not presenting, sorry. So we have storage technologies. Mchale, you are, and we see you well, and I think we hear you well. So the stream is yours to hear about storage technologies.
Thank you. I'm Mike Levy, Vice President, Research and Innovation for one of the three shareholders of Acus. My company develops low CO2 technologies for the mobility sectors. Today, more than 30 million vehicles are on the road with one of the Acus technology standards. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. stor-h is a spin-off of Acus that leverages 155 patents concerning the solid storage of hydrogen to enable zero CO2 light mobility. 12 electric vehicle OEMs have already adopted the stor-h energy standard. Next slide, please. The stor-h technology allows green hydrogen to be stored safely in easy-to-use connected cartridges. These cartridges are distributed in state-of-the-art vending machines accessible through a smartphone app. In addition, consumers can recharge the cartridges at home or in the office with home chargers. Next slide, please. The stor-h go-to-market strategy targets B2G and B2B customers to initiate the deployment of the distribution infrastructure before moving to the B2C segment. Next slide, please. In China, we are focusing on partnering with key cities and provinces and companies with large industrial sites. stor-h has been invited to attend the upcoming China International Import Exposition in Shanghai, where we have a large stand to display all of our powered by stor-h vehicles and our innovative cartridge distribution system. With NDRC, we will sign contracts with 3 key cities for the operational deployment of stor-h in China in 2021. 2019, we closed our first round of financing, having raised 10 million euros. In 2020, we have launched our second round, and we are seeking to raise 20 million euros. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this presentation. Impressive and already, as we see, a strong foundation for growth for China. This now will be the 5th presentation, and I have to call back the jury for their difficult duty, I have to say, because I am quite happy I'm not in charge of choosing who is the winner every time. I would give all of you, of course, the winning seat, but that's not possible. So this time I would like to ask Bean to take the first question. That will be for which startups and what do you want to ask? Bean, are you here?
Yes, my question addressed to scientific vision. I think your business in the semiconductor sector, it's a very, I think your client space, it's very limited, very narrow. And I also found your company was founded in the year 2013, actually already 7 years, but your company is still early stage company. So my question is, what's the biggest challenge to your business, growing?
Thank you for the question. The biggest challenge for the quality control systems when you are inspecting sapphires is today producers are manually checking their productions, and they do not have that precise location of defects. Now, the systems has been used now by European players, and they can discover with a much better quality the defects in sapphire, and it's enabling now the perfect sapphire for the micro LED production. So that was a major challenge. We have now made as well good penetration of the Swiss watch industry, with quite significant amount of watch cover being discovered, inspected every year. The next challenge is to inspect non-translucent crystals like silicon carbide and gallium nitride, which are highly demanded for the electrical vehicles. But it takes time indeed to develop the systems and to penetrate the market, which is indeed quite a conservative market.
Thank you very much, Frederick. And with this time now today, we have the result. I hope it answers your question, Bin, and I would like to pass the floor for the next questions to James. James, to which startup?
SIODB. Yeah, so your businesses are open source. China actually have quite a lot open source. But what would be your business model, entering China?
Our strategy is to contact cloud provider, Chinese cloud provider, and Chinese software integrator, so they can integrate the technology SIODB into the software or propose SIODB as a services into their cloud.
Why can't they use the open source themselves to integrate into their cloud services?
Of course they do. If they do, it's even better because they can improve the technologies themselves, but they will need support. And if they just clone the project, is all the open source story. If they clone the project, they will fork it with a different feature and so on, and they will be out of the initial history of the product, the mindset of the product. So it won't be well seen from the community neither.
Thank you very much, Nicola and James. So one last quick question, Chengfei.
Yeah, so my question to the risk link. So, so you have 3 employees in the company. So how you do your R&D function in your company to develop your product and your company?
Actually, I had to update the data because we have more employee now. We have the data scientist as well. We have 3 clinical trial risk analysts that are working on the project, and we have a research partner at the HESO Geneva, which are expert in artificial intelligence, and we have a collaboration grant that some data scientists are working on the lab and the research, and then we are continuously doing the research and development actually.
Great, thank you very much. I am closing this session right here. I think that we had quite a few inputs now, and the judges will have to take their decision. To the 5 of you already, big applause. And I'm doing here on behalf of the whole audience. We have over 500 people that are listening, or close to 500 right now. So we will launch the next presentation, partners video, and jury, to your voting duty to select the finalist of this 3rd group. And this was our brief SwissTech presentation. We're now waiting for the winner. And I think that after having a winner that is basically turning us into energy, now we need the storage that goes with it. So stor-h technologies will be our winner tonight. Congratulations to you. So it's a pleasure having you. Wonderful. And that will be, you will be seeing you back at the final. And we jump to our next group already. Congratulations to the 5 of you. And we are now welcoming the group number 4. And I would like to welcome Mostafa, Tabias, Rufo, David, and Loris from Swiss Terahertz, Tinamu Labs, Trustly.ai, Tapewise, and Voliro. We see you all now on the screen. And I think that with this, we are welcoming our next group. Do we have everyone? Yes, I think I can see everyone. And in particular, Swiss Terahertz, you are our first presenter. Mostafa, if you are ready, then it is our pleasure to welcome you now for the next 90 seconds.
Hello, everybody. Swiss terahertz. So terahertz is a type of electromagnetic radiation. It's simply like the signal on your phone. And we have the 4G in our phone. Like if you're really excited about 5G, the main difference between 4G and 5G is that you go higher in frequency. In a few years, maybe 5 to 10, we'll have the 6G, higher in frequency. 6G is basically terahertz. So terahertz is important for communication, but there is another very important application for terahertz, which is imaging. Terahertz can go through a lot of materials. It's like X-ray, but X-ray is dangerous. Terahertz is very, very safe. So you can use it in like biomedical applications and security scanners. So what is about our technology? We have both hardware, like cameras, and software, like advanced algorithms for computer. What is unique about our technology is two words: it's fast, small. Actually, fast and small is the motto of our modern life, but if you think of it and you want to put the camera on a drone, it has to be fast, it has to be small, it has to be of higher resolution. And if you back it up with very advanced algorithms for AI, you got it all. We are in Zurich, and we also have a branch in Shanghai, China. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this presentation. It was brief and sharp. So we have the pleasure directly to welcome our next presenter. And for this, it will be Tinamu Labs, Tobias. Tobias, you are in the drone space, so fully into the hotspots of the industry today. Tobias, we are listening.
Hi, I'm Toby, co-founder of Tinamu, an ETH spin-off based in Zurich. We enable the next generation of automatic drone application inside buildings. In the growing market of industrial indoor monitoring, our clients want to fully automate inspection workflows in order to save cost and enhance safety. As an example, we are working with Axpo, the largest power producer in Switzerland, on automatic remote inspection of the inside structure of power plants, a cumbersome and repetitive task at a remote location. The user wants insights delivered, so fully automation with a flexible sensor network is needed. We achieved this with our drone-based cloud-connected platform, capable of automatic indoor flight, no GPS or pilot is needed. The system automatically captures data, stores and analyzes it on the cloud. The user gets the insight he needs, less expensive, more consistent, and safer than today. Implemented as a robotic as a service model, we charge monthly fees for the insights our platform provides. By focusing on software solutions and buying the drone hardware, our case is highly scalable across many industries. Our USP is the capability of precise indoor navigation in collision-free airspaces, as well as consistent image and data capturing, where we also hold multiple patents. Our team consists of 5 employees, combining entrepreneurship, cutting-edge research, engineering and business background. Tinamu, we enable the drone-based 4th industrial revolution. Looking forward to do this with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tobias. And jumping from the drone space, which has been a very hot and continues to be hot space, we welcome Rufo. Rufo from Trustless.ai. I think without further ado, I'm happy to give you the stream.
Hello, there are 16 million high net worth individuals in the world that accrue 53 trillion in assets. A recent UBS poll found that cybersecurity is their greatest concern after country politics. Yet they cannot buy anything more secure than a secure iPhone or an app that cannot be more secure than the device it runs on. The problem, we know what it is. It's hypercomplexity, obscurity of software and hardware, unverified trust, in-person organization throughout the entire supply chain. But then we solved this problem already for commercial airliners. Only 1 out of 16 million flights results in an accident, whereas every single phone is hackable by innumerable hackers. The real reason is that everything is broken by design at birth by powerful nations to retain and fight crime around the world. The solution is a 2 millimeter thin standalone personal computer that is 100 times simpler than your phone, 100 times more verified in relation to complexity down to the CPU and even fabrication oversight, and a new standard setting and certification body, ultra democratic, international, that certifies both this level of security and legitimate lawful access, involving even 5 randomly selected citizens for oversight of the certification body and enabling lawful access. We are embedding this in the back of a custom leather wallets, and then in the back of your future phone, which will have it in the back seamlessly to use.
Great, thanks. I think that that was now our privacy being well secured. And so we can continue with the next presentation, and we welcome now Typewise. David, you are our next presenter with a new human-machine interface.
Great. Hi, I'm David. I'm the co-founder of Typewise. We built the most secure and intelligent human-machine interface, starting with the keyboard. We achieve 5 times less typos than Apple. And unlike competitors, we offer full data privacy. We have an advanced AI technology in the pipeline that we developed jointly with the ETH Zurich's Institute of Machine Learning. So this is Switzerland's leading AI institute. And we're supported with a 340,000 Swiss franc research grant from the Swiss government. Since our launch in December 2019, so only 5 months ago, we've already grown to 65,000 active users and have achieved 140,000 Swiss francs in total sales. We address a $40 billion app and also enterprise software market. The team is in place. We already have 8 team members, including a very talented ETH and also Cambridge University AI engineers. This month, we have just raised 500,000 Swiss francs and are now raising additional 500,000 at a 4.5 million valuation. With this, we also want to enter the Asian market, and we see a lot of value in collaborating with Chinese smartphone manufacturers. It would be great to touch base later. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David. That was brief, sharp, and clear. And we see here the offering for the fundraising. It jumps us to the actually final of not only of this group, but of the 20 startups. We are already reaching the end of these amazing pitch sessions with the Loris. Loris, we are welcoming you to hear about Voliro.
Hello, everyone. My name is Loris. I'm the lead business development at Voliro, a spin-off from ETH Zurich, which is revolutionizing work at height. But why do we need to revolutionize work at height? On this slide, you can see that the work at height is dangerous, expensive, and time-consuming. I think everyone who has ever climbed a ladder at home to install something at height knows that work at height is dangerous because you can fall. It's simply as that. And every year, more than 30,000 people die at work because falling from height. On the next slide, I'm going to present you how we solved that problem at Voliro. So we have developed a flying robot that can perform work at height safely and efficiently. With our patented rotor system, which can be tilted, we can generate significant forces in all directions. This unique capability enables our flying robot to touch the environment and to perform tasks that were unthinkable until now. On the next slide, you can see that our flying robot can be equipped with several sensors, but can also be equipped with spraying equipment and solutions. So we already inspected, contact-based inspected different assets. We spray painted a hospital in Switzerland, which was 500 square meters in 2.5 hours. And we've proven that our technology is safe and efficient. On the next slide, you can see our highly motivated and experienced team that is consisting of 12 drone enthusiasts. And we are supported by great advisors, great board members, and great institutions to revolutionize together work at height. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was our now final presentation, and we are entering into the final set of question and answer. I would like to call back our 5 jury, and I will come now the questions in the same order as in our first iteration. James, Bing, and Cheng Fei. So first questions goes to you, James, and to which startups do you want to ask your question?
Typewise. So have you started to contact the smartphone manufacturing in China, what's their reactions to your product?
Sure. I've been in touch with Huawei, although with the European like app ecosystem lead, and as they're moving away from the Google app ecosystem, they're obviously very interested in moving developers over to their system in general. And now in regards to our keyboard solution, now many phones are equipped with a Google Gboard as well, and many Chinese manufacturers, they need to look for alternatives. And our solution works very well, especially on the European market right now, in terms of typos, but also in terms of privacy. And given that there's also some trust issue between the consumers here and especially like Huawei, which was a lot in the media, our solution can actually help address this issue by being full transparent, by offering full data privacy, which allows then Chinese manufacturers to show consumers here in the Western part that they are serious in terms of respecting user privacy.
Thank you very much, David. Bing, let me give you the next question.
Yeah, my question goes to Tinamu. So, for the drone industry, I know, in this industry, there are so many, players. It's a very, very crowded. Could you tell me, so what's your very unique advantage in the drone business? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. So first of all, we don't build drones. So we are basically drone agnostic and can interface basically any drone which is on the market. And we turn the drone into a repetitive indoor, let's say, sensor system. So with the system, you can fly or you can do repetitive monitoring tasks independent of GPS. This means the user, or you don't need a drone pilot anymore, but the user can trigger the system and then the system flies or gathers the data, and you can have consistent data. And because you have consistent data, you can start to do, for example, machine learning on the data and also do predictive maintenance. And this is unique so far in the drone world, basically.
So basically, it's about the sensor and the computing, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's about the navigation technology and the control technology. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And I think that will be our final question today. Shengfei.
Yeah, my question is to the first startup, Mustafa. So, so what's the difference? How you make a difference your company compared to other competitor? This is my first question. The second, you say that you have a branch in Shanghai. So what's the expectation, the target for the China market for your company? Thank you.
Okay, for the first question, you can't beat for hardware, you can't beat our technology in both the size and the resolution. That's unique. It's very compact. So we have big advantage. The other big advantage we have is that most companies, either they focus on hardware or they focus on software, but we focus on both. That gives the best performance. In this sense, we are very unique. And in this technology, there are only very few players. And most of the players, they depend on outsourcing most of the components. So they cannot really develop much. For your second question, at the moment, we are in China, we sell basically to like components. Actually, not all the technologies are available for the Chinese market yet. And we also like work with partners that we, as OEM, so they buy our component and put them in their system. But what we want in the future actually is to develop R&D inside China. China is full of talent, and in Europe it's difficult to find talent. So we would like to have an R&D center in China. Of course, we can do also like production, but it's the main thing we want, like development of know-how and IP inside of China.
Thank you very much. Time has been flying by again. The 5 minutes are here. So I will have now to call the jury to choose the fourth and final finalist and last finalist of this series. And in the meanwhile, we'll have the pleasure to welcome our final video or last video of our partners. So jury, to your duty so that we can announce the last finalist.
What if you could escape reality and go for a ride in a unique world? A world where reality can be played with and where the laws of physics can be engineered. In this world, you are free to use your imagination to create innovative tools. Tools that can help others step to new heights and make a giant leap forward while learning to connect with others and collaborate in teams. You can explore everything that makes you curious and discover what makes us who we are. Go further into the infinitely small, or towards the vastness of the infinitely big. You can take on human challenges here on Earth and design solutions for a sustainable future using cutting-edge methods for learning. In this world, you have plenty of options and many different paths to enhance your skills. You can connect online to study whatever you want, wherever you want, and stop whenever you want to explore your interests. You can exercise in a relaxing environment and engage in a rich social life of a whole community. All of this can happen at one campus. Although it may sound like a virtual utopia, this world is actually real and it's happening now. So come and check it out.
Was one just here now. I am here online again, and that was our other Institute of Technology in Switzerland. I think the 5 startups are eager to know what who will be the latest or the last finalist selected. And it's my pleasure to announce with the roll of drums that Mustafa, you have to be ready to launch. So Swiss Terahertz is our finalist at this stage. Congratulations. So, and it is great to have you all. So that was our series. You've seen 20 amazing companies, but we've decided that we need one winner, and we will call back our 4 finalists right now, so that, and it will be your turn, the audience. And now, please, all audience, be ready and listen carefully, as you will be the judges for the finalists and to decide who should be our overall winner. So I'd like to call Serban from Eyewear, Mitras, so Franco from Mitras, Mchale from stor-h, and Mustafa. We already just mentioned you. You are already on the video with Swiss Terahertz. The 4 of you will have to now think very fast. We will go in the order given. I know for you, Serban, it will give you a very short time to think. But actually, we give you now an extra 2 minutes to answer the following questions on the fly. You've presented your startup. It is all about making the link with China. So I would like to hear now from you, what do you really think that your Chinese customers and the Chinese market will like most about your solution, the innovation you're bringing, and what do you really need now to start and to expand into the Chinese market? So my question is double-fold. It relates to the Swiss startups bringing value to their customers and value and entering into the Chinese market. I am adding a bit of time for you, Serban, to be able to think about what do you think the Chinese customers will like most in your solution, and what will you need now? And this is a call for action for many startups to be able to start into the Chinese market. If you are ready for this, Serban, I think you will be the first one to be on the floor. And at this stage, I again ask the audience to pay close attention, as at the end, we'll give you 30 seconds to give your vote for the one winning startup that will be here. 2 minutes now for the talk. Serban, shall I give you the floor?
Yes, sure. So do we answer the question as part of the talk as well, or?
Yes, you answer the question as part, and that was part of the secret question for your final. So you have now 2 minutes for the thing and to answer the additional question. The floor is yours.
Okay, great, thank you. So thank you for this opportunity to present more details about eyewear. I'll stop at 2 of the slides that I've shared before and talk more about more details about technology and business to share some of the results that we've had so far. So please go next slide for 3 slides, I think. Next. Yes, here. So in our solution that we've developed, compared to existing eye tracking solutions, we are 100% software. We work with consumer 3D sensors that are already integrated into products, like the one, for example, from iPhone for face recognition, or time-of-flight sensors in cars. So we're hardware agnostic. We can work with any type of sensor, and we have a patent-pending computer vision and deep learning technology that adapts to the user, can track multiple people with no calibration, and has much larger the freedom of movement and the range. So next slide. Next. On the business side, we've developed strong relationships with the sensor manufacturers. We've presented prototypes at CES in 2019 and 2020 for automotive and mobile. And we're also active in East Asia, starting beginning of this year in Japan and South Korea with local representatives. So it's a very great opportunity to also expand in China. And to answer the question, I think what the customers would like is that we have a solution that's software only and ready to integrate, and we can work with consumer electronics companies or automotive companies to do that. And what we would need is local partnerships, and especially OEMs that would be interested to integrate our technology. So that's me and my 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Serban. It was even shorter, but it was very clear. I hope that across the audience we'll find many people to support you, and a clear value proposition. And we welcome Franco. I think Franco now, the same thing, same questions. You have 2 minutes maximum to convince the audience maximum value for our Chinese partners and customers, and what do you need to enter the market. Franco, I give you the floor.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me again. In my previous presentation, I illustrated what we do. Now I would like to explain you how we intend to do it and what we already did. As I mentioned, we want to become a supplier of technology and sell our solution to existing producers of wearable and mobile devices. And you can imagine the list of potential customers is quite long, from small startups to global, well-known global players like Philips, Fitbit, Samsung, Sony, or Huawei. And in the next step, we are looking to establish strategic partnerships with these players. Well, still the previous slide, thanks. To make them integrate our solution into their products. And this is the opportunity we are looking for in China. This is an opportunity for us to get these strategic partners, as well as for Chinese producers of wearable and mobile devices who want to increase the battery life of their own products. We will then set up a licensing and royalty systems and gain the revenues basically for every device they sell with our generators integrated. And we are talking here about quite big markets. You can see it on the right side, $5 billion only the wearable biosensors market in Europe alone by 2025. Next slide, please. Now, what have we done so far? We already built 2 prototypes. Both of them are wearables with an integrated TEG. We are an official ETH Zurich spin-off. We are also working with InnoSwiss together to get our MVP prototyping done as an InnoSwiss project together with the ETH Zurich. This year, we also received the Seal of Excellence from the European Commission for our application in the Horizon 2020 program. And we are also a finalist in the venture competition. And we are looking to get our technology to market by the end of 2021, early 2022. And time's up. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. I need to be fair and to keep this on the 2 minutes, but thank you very much, Franco, for this complimentary information on answering our questions. We welcome Mchale, Stor-h Technologies. Mchale, I'll give you the 2 minutes.
Thank you very, very much for giving me this occasion to once again present our second round of financing for Stor-h Technologies, the company that we have spun out of Accius to deploy our hydrogen storage standard for green mobility. Let me just start by repeating something that is probably obvious to everybody. The world has changed significantly. The world has changed forever over the past 6 months. And yet climate change and energy transition and environmental issues are still big problems worldwide and in China. We hope to make Stor-h a part of this solution. Our mission is to make green hydrogen available safely, easily, anywhere, anytime, in a manner that is both economical and respectful of the environment. And we think that these values, the reason why we do this, are of enormous importance in China. Next slide, please. Part of our go-to-market strategy involves designing a powered by Stor-h module that makes it very easy for an electric vehicle manufacturer to migrate from a battery storage solution to Stor-h. And it works. Stor-h has been adopted by over 12 electric vehicle OEMs to create a complete catalog of powered by Stor-h light mobility vehicles. We compete directly against gasoline and diesel versions of these vehicles, and there are several key drivers that are pushing gasoline and diesel out of the light mobility market, especially in cities. The lithium-ion battery electric versions are a useful transition towards the more economical, the more environmentally friendly, and the more user-friendly powered by Stor-h solution. In China, we are focusing on partnering with key cities and provinces and companies with large industrial sites as we roll out the Stor-h solution, first to B2G users, then to B2B users, and then finally to B2C. Stor-h has been invited to attend the upcoming China International Import Exposition in Shanghai, where we have a very large stand, and we hope to see you there, that displays with our OEM partners all of our powered by Stor-h vehicles and our innovative cartridge distribution system. With NDRC, we will sign contracts with 3 key cities for the operational deployment of Stor-h in China in 2021. In 2019,
I have to interrupt you here. You're reaching the end of the 2 minutes. I'm sorry, but I have to interrupt you here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we hope to see you at our stand at CIIE in Shanghai.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I had to stop you here, and I look forward. So I said we have more opportunities to welcome you also in China. And our final presentations, last finalist. If you're ready, Mustafa, 2 minutes are for you.
Yes, thank you again, Jordi. I will stick to the same slide, but I would like to talk more about it. So I think now we see that the terahertz had important application imaging, What I would like to add is terahertz has imaging a lot more to give than just the security or biomedical applications. There are a lot of important applications. For example, in quality control and non-destructive testing. If you see this picture, you have basically an electronic device. This is what you see with the visible image, and this is what you see with terahertz. So without like opening the IC and breaking it, you can actually see whether the wires are broken or not. That's very important because electronics is basically the fundamental thing in our modern life, and the industry is huge. There are many other applications, for example, inspection of car painting, wire thickness, automotive industry, or food inspection. Food waste is a huge problem. Like terahertz imaging can be used to detect whether, for example, in your grocery store, whether the produce fresh stuff is still fresh or already expired. Then can reduce the food waste, which has a huge impact on the environment. So the other thing, the last point I want to mention, what we want from China. Basically, again, we want R&D. We don't want really to sell. We sell a lot in China. We want to use the talent in China. There is huge governmental support in China for terahertz technology. We want to exploit that. Thank you so much.
That was very good. Thank you very much, Mustafa. So now it will be the turn of the audience, and I hope that the whole audience is ready because it will be choosing who is the finalist. At the end, we will present. Ready to choose your champion. We will now launch the vote, and you have the champion selection. The poll is online. Please, audience, start voting. We'll leave it for 30 seconds. I think it is important right now that you pick the solution that you want and to see as being the champion. 30 seconds, the seconds are passing by. I think we probably have 15 seconds left. You should have made your choice. You heard them twice for the finalist. Of course, keep asking your questions. And I think that the voting is now probably finished. So we now have, and we will be collecting all of the final numbers. In the meanwhile, I am giving the floor to the ambassador, Mr. Ambassador Bernardino Regazzoni, Ambassador of the Switzerland in the People's Republic of China.
Hello everybody, dear participants in the 2020 SwissTech Pitchinar. After weeks of confinement, we are all pleased to see that the world is gradually rising its sides. It has been fundamental to keep neurons active, and this event was a great opportunity to do so. Last year, I had the pleasure to take part in the CES Shanghai, a premiere in Asia for the SwissTech campaign. I was impressed. CES is indeed the best platform to showcase Swiss innovation on the Asia-Pacific market. In this year of 70th anniversary of Sino-Swiss diplomatic relation, I am delighted to shine a spotlight on those who make Switzerland known as the most innovative country in the world. One reason behind this result is the vision of Swiss entrepreneurs, such as those present today. These entrepreneurs who dare to venture and look for a groundbreaking solution in a dynamic and competitive world have the potential to shape the future. China is a key market. Use this momentum to explore it, accelerate your business and progress your success story. I now have the pleasure to virtually award this trophy to the winner of the finalist pitching, which will be announced shortly by Jordi Mosera of Venture Lab. So, congratulations to the winner and to all participants.
So I am back here, and yes, I do have the virtual trophy. The trophy is in China. We'll have to bring it back here. I would like to call our 4 finalists back on the video so that we can have them as we will be announcing. So please, Serban, Franco, Mchale, and Mustafa, turn in your videos and join us for the announcement. I think that the counting is still going on. I am still waiting for the final result that we can give now, and that we can choose our finalists, watching where the message will be coming. And basically, what is it that the audience has been voting? And I just see the result. Should I roll the drums? And I think that before I announce the finalist, or before I announce the winner of tonight amongst the finalists, I just want to congratulate all startups. You are representing all startups tonight. I hope that many contacts were made. I hope that it will continue. We hope to see you in China. As I mentioned, we plan to travel there also with the Swiss startup team, and in September or later, but this is a continued relationship. And now, the moment that everyone's expecting, I'm handing on this trophy. I think everyone today or tonight, actually it was a close voting. I think 2 companies were very close to each other, but eventually people want to turn themselves into energy providers. And it is my pleasure to announce that Franco from Mitras Technology has convinced the audience and has convinced our partners and jury. So you made it all the way to the final. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to everyone. I think that on behalf of the 500 people and of everyone, I am congratulating you. You've seen, you have a trophy waiting for you now in China. So there is absolutely the necessity that you pass by the embassy in order to collect these from the hands of Ambassador Regazzoni. With this, it is my great pleasure, without further ado, to actually continue to thanks again the jury members that have been doing a great job at selecting, listening, asking the question, to thanks the whole organization on behalf, on my behalf, on behalf of all the startups and of Venture Lab, of course. We continue our mission in partnership with Swissnex. The final word will be with Swissnex. To pass the word here now to Felix, my dear friend Felix. The wrap-up and final words will be yours to close this amazing session of connecting Swiss innovation and China.
Thank you very much, Jordi, for the professional moderation. Once more, congratulations to the winner, Mitras Franco, and also the finalists. So finalists also, you will get an award. So it's waiting and will be sent tonight, actually directly to Switzerland. So big thanks to all the outstanding startups, which are a product of the strong Swiss innovation ecosystem and the world-class universities in Switzerland. I also would like to thank all the amazing partners, EPFL, ETH Zurich, Greater Zurich area, Innovo, Swisscom, and the SwissTech campaign partners. Many, many thanks. And also especially to my SwissTech team, Swissnex team. Without them, this SwissTech Pitchinar wouldn't have been possible. Especially Li Jun, Dui, Suyao, Nan, Florian, and Danli for the outstanding job during the past weeks. Please connect with us by email or by scanning our QR codes to learn more about venture leaders that Jordi just mentioned. In the Swiss camps, we have 2 camps in China and much, much more. We would like to see you again. Please stay safe and healthy. Bye-bye.
And just say goodbye. So we
Bye everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.